In this video, I'm not telling you one, not two, but six absolutely terrifying crocodile and alligator attack stories that will make your stomach drop. These are real stories, some of them so shocking they barely made the news. So buckle up, because we're diving straight into the deep end. Let's start with a story that still gives chills to everyone in Beaumont, Texas. Back in the 1960s, a guy named Alan Burkcourt opened a riverfront restaurant right on the banks of the Neches River. For more than 50 years, it was the go-to spot for locals. People came for juicy burgers, ice-cold drinks, live music, and good vibes. And on those scorching hot Texas summer days, when the temperature hit 100 degrees, customers would do something that seems crazy now. They'd just jump straight into the river behind the restaurant to cool off. It was completely normal. Kids, adults, everyone did it. No one gave it a second thought. But everything changed forever in the summer of 2015. One afternoon in June, Alan was working inside the restaurant when he glanced out the back window. Something in the water caught his eye. It didn't look right. At first, he thought it was just a log floating by, but then it moved, slowly, deliberately. Curious and a little uneasy, Alan stepped outside. A few customers sitting on the deck also noticed it. Whatever it was big, way bigger than the usual small alligators people were used to seeing. That same day, Alan made a firm decision. He told everyone, no more swimming in the river. He went inside, made a big, bold sign that said no swimming, and placed it right near the water's edge. Weeks went by. The sign was there, but some people still didn't take it seriously. Then came the night of July 2nd. A 28-year-old local named Tommy Woodward showed up at the restaurant with his girlfriend, Victoria. They were having a great time, drinking, playing pool, laughing with friends, and enjoying the warm summer night. After a few hours, Tommy casually turned to Victoria and said, "Babe, I'm going to go for a swim in the river tonight." The bartender overheard him immediately and jumped in. "Don't even think about it," she warned sharply. "Swimming has been banned. It's not safe anymore." But Tommy wasn't the type to follow rules. He just laughed it off. "I'll be fine. I've swam here 100 times. Nothing's going to happen." The bartender didn't give up. She even pulled other staff members to try and talk him out of it. Multiple people warned him, but Tommy was stubborn. He didn't listen. A little later, he grabbed Victoria's hand and headed toward the old wooden pier that stretched out over the dark river. The water looked completely still, almost unnaturally quiet. No ripples, no sound. Tommy took off his shirt, emptied his pockets, and stood at the edge, ready to jump. Right then, Victoria grabbed his arm. "Wait, I think I saw something moving in the water." Tommy smirked. "You're just imagining things, babe. Watch this." And without another word, he jumped. The moment his body hit the water, chaos erupted. The surface exploded violently beneath him. Something massive had just lunged. Tommy shot back up to the surface, screaming in agony. He started swimming frantically toward the pier, arms thrashing wildly. But he never made it. Something incredibly powerful grabbed him from below and dragged him under. A few terrifying seconds later, he burst back up. This time, Victoria could clearly see blood, a lot of it, pouring from his lower body and turning the water dark. Panicking, Victoria jumped into the river to try and save him. But even in that moment of pure terror, Tommy had the presence of mind to shout, "Get out! Get out now! Save yourself!" With tears in her eyes, Victoria reluctantly climbed back onto the pier. From the safety of the pier, she watched in horror as the nightmare unfolded. The bartender, hearing the screams, grabbed a flashlight and sprinted to the scene. When she arrived, Victoria was hysterical, screaming Tommy's name into the black water. They pointed the flashlight across the river, and that's when they saw him. Tommy's body was floating face down, completely motionless. For one brief silent second, everything went still. Then, suddenly, he was violently yanked underwater again. This time, he never came back up. Here's what makes this story even more terrifying. Everyone knew there were alligators in that river, but they were always the small ones, 4 to 6 feet at most. Locals had been swimming there safely for decades, no major incidents in living memory. But something had changed. That log Alan saw back in June wasn't an ordinary alligator.
It was a monster, at least 11 feet long and nearly 200 kilograms, a massive, experienced predator that had quietly moved into the area and claimed the river as its territory. And on that fateful night when Tommy jumped in, he didn't just go for a swim, he entered a feeding ground. 2 hours later, search teams recovered what was left of Tommy's body. He became the first person killed by an alligator in Texas in over 200 years. And that was only the first story.